What a weekend of football. College, NFL, Thursday all the way to Sunday. Hopefully Monday my Saints at Chiefs. That will finish off a great weekend. Every primetime game was great. All the all the NFL games were great. Really, to be quite honest with you, there was only two early games that were blowouts, and then the late games, you saw what happened there. Rams trying to make a play to come back at the end, but the Packers get it done. Jordan Love, even though he had some picks, he's been throwing some picks in his first two starts after the injury. But again, they're still more dynamic with him at the quarterback position. I think I want to say it's rust. I want to say it's injury related, but it just looks like he's pressing too much because of how he saw Malik Willis look, and he looked pretty good. Of course, they ran it really well with Jacobs and others, but and Malik, for that matter, who can run the football as well. But he just looked like he was pressing it. He looked like he was trying to just throw deep balls down, and they didn't hit. So he's going to have to relax a little bit and kind of calm down because it's his job. He is the guy. So I think he can be confident in that. And he's going to have to find a way to stay healthy as well. So hopefully those two things go well. But yeah, Packers Rams, they get it done. You saw Giants and Seahawks. That was a great game. A blocked field goal at the end, return for a touchdown when the Seahawks were trying to tie the game at the end. Great job by the Giants special teams unit. Great job by this defense holding down an offense that when you got guys like Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith and Jigba, you got Kenneth Walker III. I mean, you've got some dogs on this offense. Geno has played pretty well, but he didn't play well yesterday. And again, the NFC East looks a lot better early on. But again, it's early. Got plenty of games to go. First quarter of the season is done. It's through the books. So now it's where teams start to kind of settle in. We have a couple games of information, even though it's been probably the wildest first quarter of a NFL season that we've seen, even though it's usually wild. But it's been extraordinarily wild because the Seahawks, that's a game they usually win at any other time, any other situation. But Danny Dimes, he gets his name back. When he plays well, he is Danny Dimes. When he doesn't play well, he is just Daniel Jones. That's just how I do it with him. But Danny Dimes returns. He was excellent. I thought that Cowboys game was a game they could have won, and the Commanders game is a game they could have won as well. So they've had some winnable games. This team is not as bad as a lot of people think, and they can win a lot of games going forward, but they're going to have to be able to string together consistent games. They have the Bengals Sunday Night Football next week. We'll find out. Can they put away the Bengals, pretty much put away their hopes with this game? They lose that game, it's over for them. But again, you get the 3-3, get the 500. We're looking at the Bengals, or we're looking at the Giants and the Bengals for that matter in different ways. So they're feeling good right now. Home game, it'll be packed Sunday night for that in MetLife Stadium for that game. So we'll see what happens. But great win for them. And the Cardinals coming back to beat the Niners is exactly the reason why I don't mind being wrong about a lot of my picks, because I'm going to get football games like that. And when I get football games like that, I could care less if I'm wrong. I don't like being wrong. I hate losing more than I like winning, which is what makes great winners. But wow, at the end of the day, unless I'm hating on the Cowboys or some other team, it's okay for me to be wrong, because at the end of the day, I just want to see great games. Other than my team, I would like my team to blow out everybody. But other than that, even the other teams that I like, even the Bengals and the Commanders who I root for because of the quarterbacks coming from LSU, I want them to win, but I also want it to be close games. I just want to see fun, close, experience football games, because that just makes everybody better. So I thought that it was imperative that those things occur. So, but at the end of the day, that's what's going to be required of teams going forward. is to try and find ways to win games. So a great way to find a victory from the Cardinals. And again, it's a game where it just looked like the Niners, no matter how the game looked, like it looked as if the Niners were going to just pull away eventually. And they didn't. They fumbled the ball late, and that really gives the Cardinals the opportunity and the chance to go down and ultimately kick the game-winning field goal. And then they throw the pick that was tipped, or not tipped, but his arm, Purdy's arm was hit, and that allows the Cardinals to pick that ball, and that puts the game away. And the Cardinals come back by a point and get it done. And again, this is why you love football, because you think you know, and you find out you have no idea. And that's what makes upsets. I thought the Niners would just control this game, and for the most part, I thought early on that they were going to do that, but they just could never get on a consistent pattern. Ayuk looked good, Jennings looked okay, and for the most part, Jordan Mason looked fine, and even Purdy looked good. So it's just one of those games where you turn the ball over in a close game. Kyler Murray on that first touchdown, I mean, this guy here, if he can just stay consistent, and if his guys can keep making big plays, again, NFC West, it's early. First quarter of the season's done. Nobody's out of it quite yet, except for the Rams. I think the Rams are probably done. They're just too hurt. Their defense, they try hard, they play hard, but I don't think they have enough pieces this year to contend for a playoff spot. So I think the Rams will finish last, and it might be a long year for them. And again, if you're the Cardinals, you get this victory. You've already beaten the Rams. You've already now beaten the Niners. You still got to play the Seahawks a couple times and Rams and Niners again, but you're already 2-0 in the division. And at the end of the day, even if something happens to Kyler Murray or somebody, you have those 2 early wins, and guess what? The Niners have to go to Arizona, and then again, you get to play the Rams again, and they've had success in LA, and then you still have the Seahawks at home. So this could be a team to reckon with down the line if they can stay healthy, and Kyler Murray can just keep getting better. They're good. They're good. James Conner, probably one of the most underrated running backs in NFL right now. I think he is a good, strong back, nice size, runs it well, slashes the field north and south. He's very physical, and he can catch the ball at the backfield and be physical as well. So very underrated back from James Conner, man. I thought he had a pretty good tenure at Pittsburgh. He was very good at Pitt, and now you see what he's doing with Arizona. I think he's had a really good career overall, but really in Arizona he has shined to me. Kyler Murray accentuates that and makes it even more brighter just by the physical nature of a guy like James Conner. But in Arizona, like I said, they can get on a roll. They can make this interesting. But great win for them. And so again, you have 3 wild games. The Broncos game was over. Probably in the first half. After that, it was over. Great win for Sean Payton. Bo Nix looks good. Still making some mistakes in here and there, but again, rookie, early, first quarter of the season. He'll settle down. He'll settle in. Sean Payton will get him right. The Broncos defense, one of the better defenses in the NFL. And their offense, again, against albeit a Raiders team that is inept for the most part, they look like a pretty good unit. At least in this game. So, and you saw what they did against Tampa Bay. So their offense has been here and there. So you never quite know what to expect, but we know their defense through these first couple games has been awesome. You go down early. If you're the Broncos, you come back. You won your last 3 games. 2 of them on the road against an Aaron Rodgers-led Jets team and a pretty hot Baker Mayfield Bucs team early on. And you say to yourself, oh, this is a team that, again, it's early, first quarter of the season. Everybody's kind of just that. We know the Raiders are going to finish last, but the Chiefs have gotten a lot of luck, and that's what's keeping them in first place. But we've seen the Broncos beat the Chiefs. We know what they can do. Sean Payton, if he can corral these guys on offense and keep that defense stout, because they give the Chiefs a lot of fits. So that's going to be two interesting games to have. But no, great performance by this defense, and Bo Nix had a really good home victory, and that's what you want, to get the wins you're supposed to have as a good team, and just run them over and don't give them a chance to come back. But Scott Hansen of NFL Red Zone, you got to stop. I know it's your job to kind of keep things interesting, but that game was over. Once they put the 34 piece on the board, the game was over. So I don't know what he was trying to do there. They still have a chance. No, you're down by 24. You got to score 3 touchdowns, 2 2-point conversions, get 2 onside kicks with less than 7 minutes to go in the game. I don't think that's ever happened before. We've seen some amazing comebacks, but again, when you're in the NFL and you're watching, you can tell when a game has momentum for something like that and when it doesn't. There was nothing about the Raiders that had momentum. They switched from Gardner Minshew to Aiden O'Connell. That didn't help because, again, the game was over. So I don't know what he was doing right there, but yeah, 3 of the 4 games were really interesting. And if you look at it, of the 13 of the 14 games that were on from Thursday to Sunday, 12 of them were great within one possession. And really the only 2 blowouts were the Commanders completely handling the Browns, who aren't very good. E35 will be the offensive rookie of the year. It's not even close at this point. And he might be vying for MVP if he keeps playing this way. Not much to say. Austin Eckler looked good. And defense, again, I want to see them against some more high-powered offenses. So I'm still suspect on that defense. But JD5 looks like he's taking this team to heights that they haven't had since a certain guy named RG3. So we'll see how that goes. But Bears run over the Panthers. That was the other blowout game of the day. Caleb Williams, 2 games in a row now. Home against the Rams, home against the Panthers. Now, again, both those teams are probably finished 15th and 16th in the NFC. But at the end of the day, when you're at home, you find a way to win those 2 games, and you blow out a Panthers team that really isn't good. So they have done it. And Caleb Williams, slowly but surely, is finding his footing. He's seeing the field a little more clear. He's setting his feet. He's making the proper throws. He's moving around. Chaos, forcing the defense to run around and try to catch guys who are running side to side. And that's what helps. When you're able to move around like he can, and you're able to use running plays to get him on the move. So, DeAndre Swift, another good game. Hey, this team, again, early, first quarter of the season, we'll be saying that a lot, but great win for the Bears, and they've got another winnable game next week. That's at home as well. I forget who it is, but another winnable game next week. So we'll see what they're able to do. But man, pretty good last couple weeks for the Bears, and again, giving the Bears in Chicago hope. But they're one of the few fan bases other than like Buffalo where they support their team no matter what. No matter if they're having good seasons or bad seasons, that is a packed house, and they always show up. So Chicago and Buffalo, great fan bases. Speaking of Buffalo, Texans win by a field goal, and I already see the headlines of bad coaching and timing decisions by throwing it 3 times, and all that. I understand that, and honestly, the more I've thought about it, the more I agree. But I also think it's a strategy of they have 3 timeouts. You run it 3 times, you maybe waste 3 seconds per play. You waste 9 seconds. I would have to go back and look at how much time they had left in that game. I think it was like a minute or so. So at worst, they use all 3 of their timeouts. You would waste maybe 10 seconds off the clock. Maybe you have 50 to 40 to 50 seconds, but still, put the ball up. Who knows? They get a good return. They're going to based on where the ball was at. And they're still, so pretty much to me, I just feel like they would have been in the same position either way. The only difference is if they had maybe ran it those 3 times before some use of timeouts, they would have maybe had 1 less shot to make a play. And who knows, maybe they still make it. So I get the frustration of what everybody's saying, but you have Josh Allen, see if you can make something. On the first down play, I like that. Now, if that doesn't work, I think second down, you come back and run it, and depending on what happens on that run, then you think about maybe a short throw or a crosser on third down. Try to get a flag or something like that. But I didn't agree with the 3 straight throwing, but the method of what they were trying to do, as Doug McDermott was trying to explain, I thought was good. So I don't really need to apologize for that if you're Doug McDermott. But the last 2 weeks, their offense has looked inept at Baltimore and Houston. So it's looking pretty bad for the Bills. Early on, they looked good. But again, they're facing teams who weren't that good as well. So Josh Allen and company, they're going to have to right this ship early on. Otherwise, they're going to be in trouble because it only gets harder for them. Their schedule is not easy at all. They still have a couple of really good teams to play. So, and I still think they'll win this division. The Jets aren't good. The Dolphins are going to finish last, but then I say that, and they beat the Patriots, which again was an ugly, sloppy game, but it was a close game, and it ends up with the Dolphins stopping the Patriots from scoring. And they pretty much ran out of time at the end. So, Dolphins and Patriots are going to be vying for last place in that division. And Jets are the only team that can challenge, and they don't look very good at all. Bills, Jets, I believe that's Monday Night Football next. That game will determine the leader of this division, and to me, the winner of that game is going to win this division, in my eyes. That's just how I see it. But ugly division game, or ugly division, because none of these teams look good right now. Again, it's early. We know for sure the Dolphins and Patriots. Dolphins without Tua, Patriots just aren't ready yet. They're still sticking with Brissett. So we know those 2 teams are going to be at the end. The question is, can Aaron Rodgers and the Jets right the ship and get it together? If they lose this game to the Bills, it's over. If they win this game, they're right back in it. So that's going to be an important primetime game with Aaron Rodgers. They're going to have to figure it out on offense. Their defense is doing their job yet again. So we'll see what happens. Bengals, Texans, the thriller of the week. On a multitude of levels. Joe Burrow with the pick there. Again, you can have a great game and make one bad play and ruin it. And that's pretty much what happened. He had a stellar game. He made one mistake. But you also have to understand, they get to overtime, they miss the field goal. If they make that field goal, the game's over because of the turnover by the Ravens. So they make that field goal. If Pearson makes that, we're not having this discussion. The game's over. And we're talking about the Bengals coming back and looking like we thought they were. So, again, he made a mistake, and he's gonna have. Nobody has to tell him that. He knows. My boy knows that he made a mistake there. But at the end of the day, he put up a 30-piece, almost a 40-piece. Your defense gave up a 40-piece, and Bengals missed a field goal. So special teams snafu, and your defense gives up 40 plus. If Burrow, has the pick, but again, you still had a chance to win the game, and they couldn't close it. So, like Joe said in the post game, it's just a bad team. They don't know how to win right now. It's just what it is, and it's not. They're starting off slow because they haven't started off this slow, and in any of the couple of years. And at the end of the day, I think people have to also understand that sometimes in any sport, the team's just not going to be good. And that may just be all it is. The Browns are going to finish last in this division. I think they're in every division but maybe 3. I think there's clear and obvious teams that are going to finish last. The Browns will be last in this division. The Bengals I think they're still going to win some games eventually, but I do think they're better than the Browns. Even though the Browns have had their number, I think they can still be better. And they'll probably be 3rd. But the Ravens likely going to run away with this division. They likely get the number 1 seed if they keep up at this rate. And or number 2 seed at worst, based on the fact that they lost 2 games already, and he lost to the Chiefs. So that could hamper you, but I don't really see them losing any games. Maybe one they'll drop to the Steelers, but I don't see them losing too many games, especially in the division. I think they might clear the division. You lose maybe one game to the Steelers at Pittsburgh or something like that, but because of the Steelers' offense, I don't think the Ravens, again, are going to lose much in that division. So you win the division, get a home playoff game, and possibly get to another championship in the AFCs for the Ravens. So the Bengals are done to me. They lose to the Giants next week. I don't even want to talk about it for the rest of the season, but I just don't think they're a good team this year. And it is what it is. That's going to happen. At times. Everybody can't be good. Everybody can't be great. It's just not how sports work. Some teams are going to be great. Some teams are going to be bad. It has to happen every year. Somebody's going to be first. Somebody's going to be last. That's just what it is. So that's what I think it is. I just don't think they're a good team this year. And they come back, get some more draft picks, trade some pieces, do what they got to do, and we'll see what they can do. But no, this year is a wash for the Bengals, and they're just going to have to wear it. But no, Burrow's played well. But again, he's also made two mistakes, one against the Chiefs, one here, that, could have kept them in the lead or gave them the lead. So, again, he's played great. But when your defense is not playing as well as they need to play, you have to almost be perfect in those two situations, and he wasn't. So that's basically what happens in that. When you have a defense that's not that good, and they're letting teams go up and down the field on them, you're pressing yourself, okay, I have to score 7, I have to score 7, I have to go to Chase, I have to go to Higgins. And when that happens, balls get tipped, batted, deflected, and, you throw picks. That happens. So, but no, I think the Bengals are done. And quite honestly, I think it's going to be a weird offseason for this team to see what direction they go into. Because their defense isn't good. And I don't know what else Burrow can do. He can't play the defense. So unless they start to retool and fix that, they're going to be in trouble. But, yeah, I think the season's over for them. And we'll see where they go from there. Titans, Chargers, Eagles all had, there's one more team that had a bye week. Titans, Eagles, Chargers. There's another team that had a bye week. I'm trying to figure out who it was. Give me 1 second till it comes to me. It's going to come to me. I just gotta remember the divisions. Trying to think. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. I can play. I'm not looking this up. I'm just trying to think in my head. I hate when I don't get something and I have it on the tip of my tongue, and I'm trying to do it and figure it out. Bears, Vikings, Packers, played. Who's the other team in that division? Lions. That's who it was. They played on Monday night. All right, so Lions, Titans, Chargers, Eagles, 14, first 4. Off in this bye week, and then we've got a couple other out of country games coming up the next couple of weeks. So we're gonna have those couple of weeks where we have 6 games, and we'll have to start having byes and like you said, early games, stuff like that. So it's gonna be shorter windows, which means you can focus more on a lot of these games. But yeah, I think that, which I think is great, that we get to have all these games spread out, because this was the best week as far as close games and thrilling games go. This was the best week of the NFL so far, by far, and this is probably one of the best in the last 10 years. As far as just straight up Thursday to Monday, if the Saints-Chiefs delivers, it is a close game as well. You're talking about 2 games that were blowouts. Other than that, this was a stellar weekend in the NFL. And if we can get more weeks like this, I mean, this season, football-wise, college and NFL is going to be amazing. I will touch on college here in a little bit in another episode. But man, what an exciting week in the NFL. Colts, Jaguars. Again, Colts. Joe Flacco looks amazing. He keeps doing it. He carried the Browns to the playoffs, and he might, if Anthony Richardson can't stay healthy, he looks like he can carry the Colts to the playoffs. I mean, this man, we've seen him win a Super Bowl with the Ravens, where he was stellar in that. But man, he just keeps finding ways to get it done. I don't know what health kick he's on, but I need to talk to him and figure out what I need to do to get on that. Because man, he just looks, the way he's able to throw the football. He's not that run he had was about as ugly as Peyton Manning running, but he did what he had to do when the game was on the line to make plays, and he did it. This game looked like it was over for a while. Jaguars had a 2-possession lead. They come back down quick. Alec Pierce and some other guys gets involved, gets in the end zone, they get a stop, they get the ball right back. Flacco goes down again, and again, the Jaguars finally get a win. You know, because Tank Bigsby was great. Saw Brian Thomas Jr. get a nice play, and the Jaguars are not good. They're going to be down there with the Panthers, Titans, and Patriots. They're going to finish 4th in this division. I think it's pretty clear. I think Texans, Colts will be vying for those top 2. I think, much like it usually is, Texans and Colts will probably be fighting on the last couple games of the season. I have to go look at the schedule and see if they play each other, because if they do, boy, I think that those 2 games are going to come down to, it's going to come down to those 2 teams. We saw the great game they had in Indy. They're going to have to play each other in Houston eventually. It will come down to those 2 teams as far as who wins that division, because Jaguars and Titans will be probably picking in the top 5 in the next NFL draft, because they're not good. And Trevor Lawrence, man, they gave him a lot of money, and a lot of people say he deserved it. Yeah, I don't think it's really about that. To me, it's just about what the market is and what's going to happen if you don't pay him. And for the most part, for a lot of these quarterbacks, whether they deserve it or not is not really the issue. So they're going to be looking to retool next year if things don't continue to get better for the Jaguars. But yeah, Colts, Flacco did everything he could to get them in this game, and I do believe down the stretch they will go on a little hot streak, whether that's with Flacco or with Richardson getting healthy. But yeah, he continues to defy reality with the way he's been playing. So great job by Joe Flacco and the Colts for fighting, but Jaguars finally get a win. Dolphins get a win as well. No more teams with no losses. The only undefeated team left is the Vikings and the Chiefs, if I'm not mistaken. So, and I expect the Chiefs to lose tonight against my Saints, and I expect the Vikings to lose at some point. I don't know who they're going to lose to, but they are going to lose eventually. And nobody's going undefeated, whether that be college or NFL. So, but no, it was a great weekend. It was a great weekend of professional football. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to talk about what happened in college, because it was wild. It continues to get wild as far as how things are shaping up. So I really hope that we continue to get these great games, because it's thrilling to watch. Me and my pop watching these games, making a bunch of noise and probably pissing off the neighbors. But man, what a weekend. Can't wait for tonight. I'm nervous, but at the same time I'm ready, because I really believe we can go on the road and beat this team. And healthy or not, we've got some guys out. We've got Hill, we've got Willie Gay, we've got a couple guys who are out in this game as well. So we're a little banged up, just as the Chiefs are. But again, if Derek Carr and that offense can keep going like they got going last week, and really the last 2 weeks, Derek Carr has driven down with that offense and scored for game-winning drives. The defense has given up 2 game-winning drives. So This defense, to me, has got to play better. Stop allowing big plays. Stop with the holding penalties and the procedural penalties. And if we can do that, I think we win this game. So we'll see what happens. But like I said, I'll have the college football reaction episode coming up. We got another big week. We got a huge week in the next couple weeks for college football. So I'm really excited to recap what happened there. But as far as the NFL, I'll have my Monday Night Football reaction queued up tomorrow on what I feel happened. And that's going to be it. But, yeah, I appreciate everybody who's listening. Make sure you subscribe. If you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment if you can. And also, if you're on the Podbean, make sure you follow the Podbean podcast and give it a good listen as well. But, yes, I will talk to you guys here in a minute. And I hope everyone has a nice Monday.